He ghosted me. She used me. I gave her everything and still wasn't enough. I hear it all the time from men. Yes, you, the man who grew up thinking being strong meant being silent. The one who was told to chase success, never show emotion, and never expect anyone to check in on him. Because you're a man, right? But let me tell you something that no one talks about. Behind every confident, successful man is often a wounded boy who was never taught how to heal. And today I want to speak to that boy. The one who's tired of the games, confused by modern dating, craving something deeper, but afraid to admit it. The one who scrolls through social media wondering why high value feels more like a performance than peace. The man who's done pretending he doesn't need love or guidance. Because I've watched men lose themselves trying to become what the world expects without anyone telling them that they are allowed to need. They are allowed to feel. They are allowed to want more than validation from strangers. So listen, not just with your ears, listen with your heart. This is coming from someone who's seen what happens when men are neglected, misunderstood, or silently drowning. And if you're brave enough to keep watching, you just might hear the truth you've been waiting for. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you allowed yourself to cry without shame? When was the last time you said out loud, I'm hurting, I'm afraid, or even just, I don't know what to do? For most men, the answer is never. Not because they don't feel deeply, but because they were never taught how to speak the language of emotions. Instead, from the time you were a boy, you were handed a script. Man up. Don't be soft. Real men don't cry. So you buried it, your pain, your heartbreak, your fear of failure, your need for connection. You buried it so deep that now, when something hurts, you don't even know how to describe it. You don't have the words, only the anger, the numbness, the silence. But let me tell you something. No one else has said to you clearly enough, it's not your fault. You were never given the emotional toolkit. But here's the good news. You can build it now. Emotional literacy is not about being overly sensitive or soft. It's about recognizing, understanding, and expressing what you feel without being controlled by it. It's about pausing when you're triggered, naming what's really going on inside you, learning that behind every angry outburst is usually grief, loneliness, or a cry for validation. And the most powerful part, you don't have to figure this out alone. Start by journaling. Start by saying to yourself, I feel frustrated because. Start by talking to one person you trust, even if it's a therapist, a coach, or a stranger on the internet. Because the moment you become fluent in your own emotions, you become unshakable. No woman, no job, no rejection can destabilize a man who understands himself. This is your power, and it's time to reclaim it. Let's be honest. From the moment you hit your teenage years, the world started whispering, then shouting that your worth is in your wallet. That to be respected, you must provide. That to be desired, you must impress. And if you want love, you better earn it. They told you, be a high-value man. But what they really meant was, make 6 figures, drive the best car, dominate, win, never be broke. And so you chased the grind. You sacrificed sleep, your health, your friendships, sometimes even your joy, all to climb a ladder that no one asked if you even wanted to be on. But here's the brutal truth. Many men have become wealthy and still feel empty. They've got the house, the brand name suit, the Rolex, and still wake up feeling unseen, unknown, unloved. Why? Because you were taught how to earn, but not how to live. You were trained to build an image, but not an identity. Let me say this slowly, for the man who's silently burning out. You are more than your paycheck. You are more than your title. You are more than the number of women you can attract. What about your peace? What about your purpose? What about the conversations that make your soul feel full? The laughter that doesn't come from ego, but from being real, vulnerable, human? Listen, money matters. We won't pretend it doesn't. But it's not the final measure of your value. It's just a tool. What you build with it is what really counts. So start asking yourself, what legacy am I leaving? Would I still feel worthy if the world couldn't see my car or my job? Do the people around me love me for who I am or what I give? The moment you stop performing for approval and start living from your truth, that's when you become unstoppable, not just in business, but in life. You are not a bank account. You are a soul. Don't forget that. She likes your stories. She sends heart emojis. She responds quickly most of the time. And for a moment, you feel seen, desired, wanted. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Most of you are starving for affection and settling for attention. And I don't say that to shame you. I say that because I see you. I see the men who are scrolling through endless profiles, checking who watched their reel, who viewed their status, who double tapped the photo they posted just to feel something. But deep down, you know it. That like doesn't hold you at night. That DM doesn't ask how your day really went. That what's up at 2 a.m. It's not intimacy, it's convenience. You've confused being noticed with being valued, and the world doesn't help. It teaches you to chase clout, to perform, to present a curated version of yourself that gets attention but not depth. So you build abs, drive, fast, earn big, hoping it'll be enough. But here's the thing. You don't want every woman. You want one woman who makes you feel safe. You want to be seen without performing. You want connection, not performance. Not just someone who's attracted to your lifestyle, but someone who wants your life. So how do you tell the difference? Attention feels instant. Affection takes time. Attention flatters. Affection listens. Attention disappears when you're not useful. Affection remains even when you're vulnerable. Affection doesn't shout, it shows up. It calls when no one else does. It remembers the little things. It stands by you, not just beside your success, but inside your struggle. So if you're tired of meaningless connections, you must first stop accepting surface level energy. You attract what you tolerate. Raise your standard from who's looking at me to who truly sees me. Because the man who knows the difference between attention and affection, he stops chasing the crowd and starts building a connection that lasts. And brother, you deserve that kind of love. But first, you have to believe you're worthy of it. Let's talk about your walls. You've been hurt, played, misunderstood, maybe even used, so you built your defense mechanisms. You became more selective, sharper. You raised your standards, told yourself, I'll never go through that again. And on the surface, that sounds strong, smart, strategic. But deep down, you're not protecting your standards, you're protecting your wounds. There's a difference between being discerning and being emotionally unavailable. See, many men today are walking around wearing masks of confidence, but their hearts are locked behind vault doors. And while you say, I'm not settling, what you really mean is, I'm scared to trust again. Let me tell you something. No one says enough. You can have high standards and an open heart. You don't have to choose between strength and softness. You don't have to become cold just to be in control. In fact, the highest form of power is the man who knows how to love without losing himself. So yes, know your worth. Don't settle for half love, flaky energy, or performative attraction. Expect loyalty. Expect effort. Expect depth. But also give grace. Give space for people to grow. Give room for real intimacy to take root, not overnight, but over time. Because here's the paradox. The very walls you built to protect your heart are often the same ones keeping you from the connection you crave. A cold exterior doesn't make you strong. It makes you lonely. And I know you weren't born that way. You became that way through pain. But what if healing meant letting someone in carefully? What if emotional safety wasn't about isolation, but about choosing who gets access with wisdom? Remember, a locked heart can't be broken, but it also can't be loved. So raise your standards, yes, but don't freeze your soul in the process. You are not the pain that shaped you. You are the love you still have the courage to give. And the right woman, she'll match your standards. But she'll also melt your walls, if you let her. Let's talk about something most men won't say out loud, but silently expect. If I find the right woman, everything will finally feel okay. You tell yourself you're just looking for love, for peace, for a good woman who gets it. But sometimes what you're really looking for is a healer in heels, someone to soothe the wounds you never confronted, to make you feel whole without you doing the work. But here's the truth most won't tell you. It is not a woman's job to rescue you from your emotional mess. It is not her job to teach you how to feel, how to open up, or how to love. And it's not fair to hand someone your brokenness and call it a relationship, because what you don't heal in solitude. You will bleed in partnership. You'll misinterpret kindness as manipulation. You'll pull away when things get real. You'll punish her for the pain someone else caused. And eventually, you'll lose the very connection you so deeply craved. But here's the good news. Healing is not only possible, it's powerful. And no, it doesn't make you weak. It makes you dangerous in the best way. Because the healed man can love without fear. He can lead without ego. He can sit in silence without spiraling. It starts small, journaling your thoughts instead of numbing them. Going to therapy, even if it's uncomfortable. Having honest conversations with your brothers instead of hiding behind bravado. Admitting, yes, that hurt me, but I'm not staying there. Stop waiting for a woman to make you emotionally intelligent. Stop hoping she'll fix the father wound, the heartbreak, the identity crisis. Your healing is your own. And when you take that power back, you stop attracting from desperation and start connecting from self-worth. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be aware and accountable. Because the man who takes ownership of his healing, he doesn't just change his love life, he changes his legacy. When you think of the word legacy, what comes to mind? Your career, your bank account, maybe a few properties, a last name that turns heads, a reputation for being that guy who made it. But let me challenge you for a moment. What if your true legacy has nothing to do with what you build and everything to do with who you become? Because here's the truth that hits hard as you get older. People forget titles, they forget numbers, they forget status, but they never forget how you made them feel. You see, the world keeps pushing this idea that your value as a man is in your output, that the grind is everything, that if you're not constantly achieving, you're falling behind. But let me ask you this. When the applause stops, when your looks fade, when your phone stops buzzing, who are you when it's just you and your thoughts? Did you live with integrity? Did you love deeply, even when it was scary? Did you forgive when you had every reason not to? Did you speak truth, even when it cost you comfort? Because that is what echoes. That's the legacy your children, your friends, and your partner will carry when your name is spoken long after you're gone. Don't just leave a will, leave wisdom, leave presence. Leave a memory of a man who didn't just chase success, but chased meaning. And that version of you, it doesn't come from pressure, it comes from intention. So start now. Be kind when no one's watching. Hold the door open for others and for your own healing. Say, I'm sorry, when pride tries to shut your mouth. Call your mother. Hug your brother. Be honest in your relationships. Because you don't have to be a millionaire to be unforgettable. You just have to be whole. And when you become that man, one grounded in purpose, empathy, and courage, you won't have to worry about legacy. You'll be living it.